Another week of college football in the books. This week gave us a bit of a breather from last week with the upsets, but still plenty of stellar football to talk about, so let's get into it. So welcome back into my channel, Peak Sports. Again, I'm Weston, and here we talk about college football right now. I do want to get more sports oriented in the future, different sports oriented, but right now we're focusing on college football. And this week, as you can tell by the thumbnail, the PAC is back. So what does that mean? Starting out the day, Oregon dominated my BYU Cougars, taking them down in convincing fashion. Bo Nix had one of his best games of his career. 3 rushing touchdowns, I believe, threw for nearly perfect percentage, and Oregon just dominated from start to finish. That was a great win by them. I expect them to soar in the polls this week. And then Washington takes down Michigan State in also convincing fashion. Again, it's hard to win in the Pacific Northwest. It seems like Washington's a very notoriously loud stadium, Husky Stadium, and then also in Autzen, that stadium is known to be difficult to win on the road. But Washington takes care of business against Michigan State in the Big Ten. And a cool tweet from John Wilner came out with Oregon taking down number 12 BYU and Washington taking down number 11 Michigan State. That is actually the first time 2 Pac-12 teams have beat 2 ranked teams in the same day since 2013. A great week for the Pac-12's upper echelon. The lower teams kind of had a rough day. And then we'll get into it later in the video, but Oregon State showing out, Washington State having a great start to the season as well. A tweet came out that this was the first time since 1915 that both Washington State and Oregon State started the season 3-0. So that's pretty cool. And then USC, they're looking like playoff contenders with Caleb Williams at the helm. That team looks pretty legit. Again, we'll have to see more games from them, and then Oregon, can they get back into the conversation, having that one blowout loss to Oregon or to Georgia? But honestly, Georgia's looking like they're going to blow out just about everyone that steps on the field outside Alabama, maybe. So can you really hold that against them too much? That'll be something to watch throughout the year. And then more Sun Belt magic, to be honest. South Alabama nearly pulled off the upset against UCLA, losing narrowly 32-31. More on UCLA in their stadium later. And then the amazing Hail Mary from App State to beat Troy. Game day was there, a rivalry game in the Sun Belt, and what a fantastic finish for them. And then fun teams to watch going forward. Kansas and Oregon State. And we talked about Oregon State earlier, but Kansas as well, kind of the same story. Years and years of mediocre football, winning 1, maybe 0 losses every year in their conferences. Right now, Kansas is 3-0 for the first time since 2009. That year in 2009, they did go 5-0 to start the season. They beat Iowa State in their first conference game and then lost every game after that. So can the Jayhawks get more than one conference win? Can they beat Texas again at home this time? That would be fun to watch. But can they get bowl eligible? That's the big question. I think that'd be a huge achievement for them, considering their past. And Lance Leipold, their coach right now, I think has gotten them really clicking on all cylinders. That'll be a fun team to watch for the rest of the year. See how they go. And then again, Oregon State 3-0 to start the season, first time since 2014, and 2 decent wins. I mean, they are against G5 teams, Fresno State and Boise State, but those 2 teams have been great the past couple years. Obviously, Boise State's been good for a long time, and Fresno seems like they're on the up track right now in the Mountain West, and getting some solid quarterback play out of their guy Chance Nolan. And then his favorite target looks to be Tayshaun Harrison. So far on the season, he's got 219 yards, 2 touchdowns in 3 games. Conference play begins pretty tough for them against USC and then Utah. So we'll have to track them and see how they do. But I expect Oregon State to be competing for the top part of the conference and getting into a decent bowl game. So they'll be fun to watch. So these are the quick headlines that caught my eye this week. Let me know what you guys thought about this week 3. What teams are you following? And more recaps to come. There's a lot to go over, so I'm going to be dividing it up into several videos this week, hopefully. And we'll see you guys in the next one.